Morning, good people. Good morning, good people. Good morning. We are here on Thursday. We had a day off yesterday, a day off in the market, and now we're back. It felt like a Sunday yesterday, even though it was only one day off. It just felt weird to be in the middle of the week. I saw somebody post on a Facebook post or something like Juneteenth ought to be put on to like the third Friday of June or something like that. Like it needs to be a Friday. But I think Juneteenth is supposed to be on a certain day, which is the 19th. And like July 4th. July 4th falls on different days and they stick with the day. So you got some of them we go with like a standard day of the month, like Memorial Day is always what, the third Monday or something like that in May, and then Labor Day is the second or third in September. But Juneteenth and July 4th, they go with the day. So that's where we are with that. Yesterday we had a day off. Hopefully you did something Juneteenth related. Hopefully you did something that was there we go. Hopefully you did something that was related to all people being free. None of us are free until all of us are free is what one of the slogans I saw. All right, let's go to see what we got brewing here in the market. SPY SPY has already in the pre-market has surpassed 550. Whether that keeps pushing remains to be seen. But you remember the psychological numbers is basically where um, the big round numbers. Sometimes it gets difficult for the market to push past those psychological numbers. 550, 500, SPX at 5500. Those kind of things sometimes get hard to push out of. Okay, so let's just see. The VIX is now at 12.58, though. It's up 0.8%. So we'll trade that accordingly. VIX seems to be hanging out in like the 12 or 13s. It's kind of doing that. So, we'll let it do what it do. Nvidia surge reveals a pitfall of passive investing. A quirk with one of the most popular tech ETFs has seen the product lag this year because it couldn't own enough Nvidia. Oh, that's interesting. A fight over the Trump tax law. S&P 500, NASDAQ set to jump as Nvidia surge continues, while the Fed might need to get on with it and cut the rates. Get on with it. 3 reasons why Citi raises S&P 500 price target to 5,600. When they raise that price target, y'all know that what that means. People move it. Move it, move it, move it. Move it, move it. Okay, so those are the things we're looking at as far as Yahoo Finance goes. Darden beats on earnings, even as Olive Garden and fine dining sales drag. I don't know if I'd put Olive Garden in the fine dining. Maybe they're saying Olive Garden, they put a comma there. I don't know if I'd put Olive Garden in the fine dining category, but Darden has other restaurants, obviously, right? S&P futures rise as Wall Street looks for Nvidia to keep leading the market. I mentioned on Monday, I'm really sure I did. I know if I didn't mention it here, I mentioned it in my own community, that trading Nvidia continuing with, for us, put credit spreads was going to be a thing to do because it was continuing to rise. And not sure if anybody, took heed to that, even though it's took heed. I heard people say that, like, take heed to it. It's like, no, we don't heave to it. We take heed to it. Good morning, Ward. Good morning, Patrick. Good morning, Tamar. That's all okay, I'm going to get off that. Stocks making the biggest moves pre-market: Nvidia, Trump Media, Accenture, and more. Nvidia definitely is keeping it moving. So the Dow futures up 16 points or 0.04%. S&P futures up 18 or 0.32%. Nasdaq futures up 92 or 0.46%. Oil is green and 10-year bonds are green. We can look real quick to see what Asia's got going over there. Asia's kind of a mixed bag. Hong Kong, which is Hong Kong, Shanghai, they're both red. ASX 200 is flat. Nikkei and Kospi are both green. Asia Pacific markets are mostly lower as China keeps benchmark lending rates steady. Trying to keep it in the row. And over in the European markets, everything is green over there. European markets higher as Bank of England holds rates. Switzerland makes second interest rate cuts. So they making interest rate cuts. We not quite ready yet over here. Not quite ready. Okay, so at 8:30 today, which just happened, right? We just had some news. Unemployment claims 238,000. Let me make this a little bit bigger so everybody can see. 238,000. The anticipated was 235,000. Notice they didn't make it red or green. They just put a number there. Like, this is the number. It ain't red, it ain't green. It's just the number. Building permits, 1.39 million. So we're definitely down about 5 or 6 million. 6 million from what they thought it was going to be, and 5 million from what it was last time. Right? So we're not doing more building permits. We're doing less, actually millions less. Philly Fed manufacturing index is at 1.3. They thought it would be at 4.8. What is the Philly Fed manufacturing index? Level of a diffusion index based on surveyed manufacturers in Philadelphia. Above 0 indicates improving conditions. Below indicates worsening. We care because it's a leading indicator of economic health. Businesses react quickly to market conditions, and changes in their sentiments can be early signal of future economic activity such as spending, hiring, and investment. Okay, so the number 1.3, they thought it was going to be 4.8. Not quite. Current account, negative 238 billion. Again, I don't really know what that is. Housing starts 1.28 million. They anticipated 1.37 million. So we're about $9 million off. 9 million, not dollars, 9 million off the housing starts. This is another lead, even though it shows up as yellow, it's a leading indicator, I would say, and be an indicator of if the builders aren't starting to build, it's because they don't have buyers who are ready to buy. Even though over in my neighborhood where I live, the building continues. It don't seem to be happening fast, but they're still knocking down trees and pushing the wild boars out into the streets because they're putting more stuff up. 11 o'clock, crude oil inventories is going to come out. And at 3:30, we've got FOMC member Barkin will speak during power hour. We don't have enough stuff happening during power hour already. Okay, so all this stuff was building permits. All these things were the morning. Crude oil inventories. Notice how it's 3 stars over here, but not as many over on Forex because where we are with crude oil matters. Cushion crude oil inventories, they would go 5-year, bill auctions. Barkin is speaking. It says here 4 o'clock, even though over there it said 3:30. Okay, so that's what we got for the day. Looks like 11 o'clock, the crude oil inventories is going to come out. That shows as volatility and high volatility anticipated. But other than that, we've got the normal things. And then Barkin is speaking 3:30, 4 o'clock, somewhere in there. Barkin is going to speak. All right. Yes, child, the wild boars. I was like, this big old monster one was out on the side of the road. Somebody had hit it. And I was like, oh my, it's because they're, taking down the tree. Good to know y'all are listening. They're knocking down the trees in this area so they can put houses up, and those animals they're going somewhere. So, y'all knocking down my home. Where do I go? And as they go, it's like, it's a big old monster. I was like, oh, he on the side of the road. Now we're going to get the buzzards because, it's the circle of life. You got to have the circle of life and, survival of the fittest. But when something happens, then, yeah. Anyway, I don't know when I passed. I didn't go that way yesterday because the road, there's 2 entrances to my neighborhood. And it's easier for me quicker to get to my house if I go the back entrance. But the back entrance, they're widening the road and knocking down trees and stuff. So it's dusty. And I got my car washed over the weekend. I wasn't trying to go through all that dust. So I've been just going out the front. So the other day when I did go out the back is when I saw this wild boar on the side of the road and was like, oh, this going to get stinky too. But The people who are working out here on the road are the ones who are going to have to contend with that. The wild kingdom. So yeah, they're going to have to contend with that. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Janae. Hey, Deborah. Hey, Tanya. Hey, everybody. How y'all doing this morning? Hey, Jamie. I didn't say hi to you. Okay, so for as far as earnings went, last night still Case had earnings, even though the market was closed. They still had their earnings announcement. And today, this morning, we've got Darden, like I said, had earnings. Winnebago, Aurora, Accenture, Kroger had earnings this morning. That might be worth a look. After market closes, Smith & Wesson, yes. Algoma is after market closes today. And tomorrow morning before the market opens, we're going to have CarMax and FactSet. I wonder if Carvana trades along like a sympathy with CarMax. Carvana has been like steadily moving. It's like $110 now. Carvana's like, we will not be left out here. Because I remember it wasn't that long ago, maybe it was, but I feel like it wasn't that long ago that Carvana was back down in the druthers. Maybe I'm thinking of a different one. Anyway, Adam Mancini's numbers, huge follow through and another win for Charting 101. All on Monday, I posted SPX bull flagging for a rally to 5506, 5515 to 20. And we just hit the 15 to 20. Lock in your gains, all bonuses now because the risk is rising. So my thoughts are, this is just my, thoughts, is that because of these psychological numbers, like I mentioned before, hey, Carmen, like I mentioned before, when we hit those numbers, if there's a strong rejection, there could be a pretty strong pullback. So if you're in, for those who are in calls or really going shooting toward 5,500 or whatever and above, then you need to be mindful that if it hits a strong resistance, it really may just pull like back hard, right? It may reject that number pretty strongly. So plan today, 5506, which is weak. 5490 and 92 also weak. Those are the supports, though. Must hold to keep 5525 and 5540 alive, and we're going to sell if we're less than 5490. Sell if we're less than 5490. The gap between ES and SPX is about 70. It might be like 68 points or something like that. I try to keep these as round numbers, but it's like 68, somewhere in there between. It's more than 65 and less than 70. So if you're looking at Adam's tweets, make sure that you do the subtraction between his ES numbers and what you're looking at for SPX, okay? If you're trading XSP, you've got 554 on the call side and 549 on the put side. If you've looked at the market this morning already, if you've looked at these numbers, if SPX 500 or you looked at SPY as your indication, it's already above 550 in the pre-market. It was above 550 in the pre-market. 5,500 is where SPX 500 is right now. SPX, of course, we don't get to see. The SPX does not run all night, but the ES does, and SPX 500 does seem to keep track of that. The movement of ES does seem to be, we seem to keep track of that. So it's 5,500.9 is what I see over there right now. It's pulling back after that, those data points. I'll show you the chart here in a second. I was trying to get it looking like something. This is the SPX 500 chart, basically what SPX is doing now, even though the market is closed and won't be open for about 45 minutes. 5501 looks like, and it's just kind of coming on. Come on down. You're the next contestant on The Stock is Right. Okay. So I wanted to share with you one thing though. I went and looked at all of these. And how about every one of these is still a good trade? Every trade on this list is profitable at this point. It's Thursday, but depending on when you got in, today may be the day you can get out. All right. Depending on when you got into these, you may be able to get out. But as of this morning, all of these numbers are still good. Some of them are close. Like Dow is at 55 and some change. And I want to say something down in here. One of the iron condor places is real close too, but all these are good. So if you pick the trade off of this list, you should be able to look at maybe exiting. I want to say that um, when we put together this list, this list, and many of us in our community know this, but this list can be trusted. All right. It don't always, that's not ever 100%. You've seen me put out the like results in the past where we may have 85 or 90% success rate on this list. But the vast majority of the stuff that comes out on this list, and those trades end up being good trades. So this can be a place where you can go ahead and start, you're deciding what you're going to trade and yada yada. You can do that based on this list. I want you to know that. Of course, I want you to do your looking and your charting to see how things are, but this is sound information right here. Okay. Good morning, Pierre. Janae says we're hitting 5,500 today before year end, and wow, yeah, we're definitely at 5,500. It's at 5,500 now. It's beyond that. So there's probably going to be a pretty good pullback when it hits. Y'all see Nvidia pumping. Yeah, but Nvidia don't play. It's like we here for it, and Nvidia is what's carrying us at this point. Nvidia is carrying the load. Like we're here to hold you on our shoulders. You can stand on. Hopefully, we'll see. Do you think Tesla gonna move now? They're giving Elon his money. Probably. It very well could do that. Very well could move. It was already starting to do its thing. For those of you who are signed up for Chart Your Way to 100K, who are doing the interactive coaching, that's happening this evening at 7:00. That's happening this evening at 7:00. Yep. So if you're signed up for that, then cool. If not, you need to get signed up today because we're moving. We're moving on with this today. All right. What stocks do we want to look at? Make sure that you like and subscribe as we continue to move forward with our call this morning. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, put the thumbs up, tell the people that we are here. Trading options as sellers. That's what we're doing. That's our primary call. We do a few other things, but we trade options as sellers is our main thing that we do. Let me look at Tesla. As my friend Don used to say, Tesla. Let's go look at Tesla. Okay. So this is the daily chart. I'm going to take some of this stuff off so nobody gets confused. All right. So our pivot here was a resistance at, what's that, 187? We do have an upward ride. It has come into resistance here, which would have been based on this candle. Would have been based on that candle right there. I can take you off. And then we've got support here. We've got a trend line, an upwards trend line going. This is Tesla we're looking at. Tesla on the daily chart. If you look here, see how this has been, what's this, a double bottom or upside down M, a W? Y'all see this double bottom? This one's higher than this one. So this would be an indication, tap, go, which is what it did, right? And then you got to see what it does in this area because it hadn't been able to get through this little zone right here very well. But I mean, if we're looking at credit spreads, I see 194 as resistance based on this candle back in April. The support here is at 177. But you really are at support resistance. You're at one. So depending on if it goes past there, let's see what the pre-market's looking like. It's still pulled back off this resistance line. You probably could put another one here where these are, which is 189. So if you're looking there, I see an iron condor potentially. I probably would go a little lower here down to what's this number? 182. Because you got some good support here, but you got some good support here too. 182, between 182 and 189. Now if it break on out, of course, Tesla can do its thing. But let me get my Thinkorswim open so we can see numbers. Of course, that's going to take a minute. Good morning, Karen. Tanya said that's who beating his chest. He said, "Move over. We coming for you. You're your spot, Nvidia." Yeah, between Tesla and Apple after their little event started beating their chest. Like, you're not going. You ain't gonna try to unseat us. We still here. Those who trade Tesla, though, there's just so much volatility that happens inside of Tesla. And it's just based on, there haven't been, I guess, as many tweets that really move things around, but it's definitely highly traded. Highly traded. Okay. What other stock we want to look at today? Oh, I wanted to go look at SPY before we got too far away from here. This is SPY on the 4-hour chart. We can see obviously that the trend line is still going upwards, right? We've hit in the pre-market, came up and hit the high here is 550.75. And it's like, no, we're not ready yet. Not ready yet. So a gap, unless it comes back and fills it in the pre-market, there's a gap there from when it closed day before yesterday, I guess, at this point. In the post-market of Tuesday, there's a gap there that will, would like to be filled, I'm sure. Who's in something that they were worried about? Anybody in something they're worried about? I think SPY is going to maybe come fill this gap, but I think it'll try to go back to 550 again. Even if it pulls off of it now, it'll try to retest it. I feel like this is just my speculation. It'll try to test it again. Whether it pushes through, that part will remain to be seen. But I think it will try again during the live trading hours. Did Enphase ever respond positively? No, it did not. It continued downwards. I think we talked about Monday or Tuesday, talked about a call credit spread based on this resistance / support. It looks like that would have been a good trade. Iron Condor, maybe not so much. Maybe not so much on the Iron Condor side. Who did we say had? Let me see who they said. They might update it. Was one of the biggest movers pre-market. Oh, Nvidia. I told you all to do put credit spreads on Monday. When we talked about it, I said put credit spreads on Nvidia. I think I might have said it Sunday and Monday. I don't know if I was on Sunday. Nope, I wasn't on Sunday, but on Monday morning I did say. I think I said Sunday inside of our group. There's a bit of a gap that it needs to fill. Nvidia, now that it has gapped up and still got time frame continuity, the next resistance is at 143.96. So right on. Pierre says, I'm really enjoying these pre-market sessions. I appreciate you doing these. Good education and community felt here. Yeah, these my people. They love me. I love thee. We hang out together. PCS on cost might work as well. Let's go look at cost. I think I was looking at what did I look at? Shopify the other day. I was looking to see what to add to my trend spread bot on Peakbot. I was looking to see what to add there. Put credit spread on cost. Let me go see. ARM seems to have gotten itself into the limelight as well. ARM has gotten itself into a little thing as well. Cost gonna be the next on the list for some splittage. It's time for y'all to get off these $800. Um, yeah, cost. I see support there. You can all if you need to get a little lower, you can go down to. Is cost a 5 spread or a 2 point spread? My Thinkorswim is still opening. Is it 5 spread or 2.5? Let me see. I hadn't looked back at SOXL in a while. Yeah, cost is a 2.5 spread. Well, maybe. Nope, not up here. Well, at this part, after 845, it became a 5 spread. So if you're trading it as a put credit spread, you're gonna leverage 500 minus whatever premiums you take in. Thank you, Jimmy. I do see you said 5 spread there. Okay. I was going to NVIDIA. I think I left it before I actually did any charting. Let me see what this line looked like. There we go. We got some support in the 130 area. I think that's 130. Supports in the 130 area, right in here. And we've got a gap down here. I think I mentioned that gap. But if you've got the put credit spread, let me see, I should be able to move it now. Okay, let's go. There we go. Anybody on here watching the show Your Honor on Netflix? My son them got me into it. And it's actually been pretty good. I fell asleep on an episode last night though, so now I got to go back and catch episode. I'm at the beginning though, so if you're not at the beginning, Ward says Bank of America and Wells Fargo. We'll look at both of those. They're both on that list. I was talking about that list being having good stuff on it. All of those at this point, and I don't know what kind of. Generally, Bank of America, I know, won't provide good premiums the day before. It doesn't do too well with that, but we'll look for sure. This is NVIDIA. If you're looking at NVIDIA for tomorrow, what did I say was the 130, 132, I think I said. So plus minus 3.7. So if we take away 3.7, we're really like at 132. 132 is an 85% probability of the money. You probably could get a little closer, but don't want anybody to get feeling like they're getting pressured. Don't want anybody to feel pressured into getting too close. 132 though, 131, 132. Market's closed, of course, but it's paying $17 now. So that's actually still good premiums for a one spread. Those are very good premiums for a one spread. And if you're confident, you're feeling kind of more confident that it's going to at least keep going between today and tomorrow, you can get even closer. So a 70% puts you in the 134, 135. Actually, current price is 140. So if I took away 3.7 or took away 4 from this, you're at like 136. So 136 based on current price because it's up in the pre-market. So 135, 136. Of course, these numbers will not be the same when the market opens because these numbers are based on the 135, not based on the current price of the options. But I think NVIDIA will definitely be worth a look-see. But I want you to chart, okay? I want you to make sure that you look at the chart before you enter on your own. I want you to look at the chart before you enter to make sure that the strike prices that you're selecting are some ones you're comfortable with, not ones that our list is comfortable with. You need ones that you are comfortable with. Okay. So the Bank of America looks like it is coming right into a resistance zone, which actually could be a good thing depending on how comfortable you are. If it's coming into this resistance zone, you can go ahead and get you a call credit spread, and because you see it's been in this zone here for a while. It's been here since what's this May the 15th. It's been in this zone since way back here, right? So that might give you reason to go ahead to do call credit spread. And because we've got some support down here at what, 39, I think that is. If you want to go a little lower, you can go down to the pivot point, which is 38.90. I still would go with 39 personally, but because it's close enough. And once it hit this support and moved, it would be good. So let's see, if we're looking at Bank of America and we're looking at it as, let me see, what strikes did we have the other day? Was it on this list the other day? Oh, it was up at the Bank of America was on the put credit spread list, which is accurate because this is what it did all week, right? These are the 4 days or 3 days of this week is what it did. So to be on the put credit spread list is good. So let's go see what we see as far as strikes for today, with the thought of exiting tomorrow, with tomorrow's expiration. Okay. Call credit spread 40.5 shows here as a 78% probability out of the money. Plus minus 0.5 it is, so 40.5 puts us right there, and taking this down to like 39.5 or 39 for those who would be, not want to be quite that close. So let's see. If we went up to 40.5, at this point, $7, market's closed, but it's a 0.5 spread. The way you can, if you want to widen it or pull in more premiums, you can take this and change this 41 to 41.5, make it into a 1 spread, and then this will, this will increase and get bigger, and you can take in more premiums on the top side. I definitely would give some room on the top side to see what it actually does when it gets to, what does it actually do when it gets to when it gets up here in this zone. What does it actually do up here? Because if it does today, if it hits and comes, let me see if we got some pre-market action. It's at 39.9 in the pre-market. So even the line we drew, it's not gone above that, and it's starting to even come back. So when you see it come away from that line or reject at the 39, that's 40, the 40 line, when you see a good rejection there, you can go ahead, you could look at entering for that call credit spread side. Appears to the folks on Schwab Networks that NVIDIA has several million options expiring on Friday, so it's going to be interesting. I bet. Oh yeah, because this is triple witching, right? This is the monthly expirations are happening. People are probably going to close, take their profits off who were in monthly things that were going on up. They may close and open up new positions. So yeah, I'm agreeing with Pierre too. I forgot about that. It's going to be interesting. People will close and reopen. And of course, when you close, that's profit taking. So the prices will go down some, and then people will reset or they will buy and it will go back up. So it could be kind of could be some of that. Could be some of that. Let's look at AV Go. Let's look at AV Go. Another one, it was $1,800. Yeah, it's time for y'all to split too. Is this Broadcom? Yep. Broadcom is splitting. Didn't they put up a thing saying they were going to split? And that's why they've made these big jumps, because they're going to split here soon. I think they announced that at their earnings. Look at these gaps though. That'll bring, I think what I like about the splitting is that it brings the stock prices, or brings them into a place where, everyday folks can trade. And of course, if they get more money into the shares, then they get more money as a company. So I can see where they'd want to do that. But AV Go has been doing just what the name says. It's been going. It's been going, going, going. I think at this stage, though, AV Go maybe it's got to be at least a 5 spread. It may be even a 10 spread. Yep, it's a 10 spread up here. Every trade is $1,000 of collateral as a seller, and then you take in. Hopefully, you should plan to take in 10%, taking at least 10% in premiums. Or do something. I mean, with the way that moves, plus minus 58 between now and tomorrow, this is foolishness. It's a plus minus 60 between now and tomorrow. So you'd have to go down to like 1740, which is like right where I am. 1740 is paying $90. This is a 5 spread actually down here. Paying $90 for a 5 spread actually is about a 20% return on your money. Not bad at all. WFC, we'll look at that one. It's marked on your calendar. Because when NVIDIA came, you see that NVIDIA came into this $100 space, and it's been traded, and really traded. Right? This is Wells Fargo we're at, I believe. Let me go look on the chart first before I. Okay, this is Wells Fargo. It is at $59. Resistance is up here. Something definitely happened in this area here, which is around 58 and some change, which is right around where price stopped. It did close above that, so that's of interest. Wells Fargo, I know, is on the iron condor list. See if I see anything on the 4-hour. Yep, this 58. I think that's 58. 58, 30 support. And if we're looking at resistance, according to the 4-hour chart, it would be up in this area 59 and some change. And you do have resistance on the pivot point at 59.40, something looks like 59.40. Let's go see what we see on numbers. Wells Fargo. This might provide you a good iron condor for tomorrow. Let's see though. Plus minus 0.9. So it's small. Anytime you have these small ATRs, if there's not a lot of volatility, there's probably not going to be a lot of premiums there. So 58 is what I see for the support as far as probability how the money goes. And 60. So between 58 and 60, which makes sense. 58 and 60 going up and down $1. 58. It's interesting how this is broken into 50-cent spreads. So right at here, it's now 50 cents. So I would do 58. I would go ahead and make it a 1 spread. It's only $7 at this point. Of course, market is closed, but 57, 58, $7 on that one side, and 60, 61, another $8. So $15 total. You did the whole iron condor for tomorrow. If you want, more time, more premiums, of course, you can push out to the next week. Usually we talk about that more so on Fridays, but going out another week is, plus minus 2.2, pulls in more premiums initially, and then you can close up, let Theta help you over the weekend, and you can go ahead and close up and that kind of stuff. So plus minus 2 would take us down to 57, take us up to 61. So 57 and 61. Yep, let's turn it into a vertical. 57 is paying $13 and 61 is paying $15. So $28 you could take in if you went out one more week. If you went out one more week, you could take in $28. It's not going tomorrow, but go, next Friday expiration, you receive $28, and then you can close it up when it's ready. We always talk about the 50, looking at 50% profit. If you take in good premiums, then you're more comfortable closing it at the 50 and 60% profit area. It's when we take in very little premiums that it's harder to close. If I only take in $10 in premiums, and I'm not going to close it at 5 because I'm going to pay 2 or 3 in fees. So, but if you take in 20 and you close it at 5, then you're going to keep your 10%. Y'all get my point? Coolie high. Let's look at Uber. I didn't look at Uber. It wasn't on our list, but I remember, was it last week that Uber provided a nice little iron condor? Looks like it's trying to come back now. It has come down and filled the gap that it created between the 11th and the 12th. There's another gap down here. Maybe I don't have them here. So how did my stuff just get off the chart after I put it there? But I'm notorious for coming back to a chart and then taking stuff off it. Just clear the chart, start over. I'll start over. Okay, looks like this was a big gap from back here, and now I'm seeing how much of it is filled. Looks like the majority of the gap, all of the gap is filled. So I just wanted to see what was up with that. Looks like that whole gap is filled. Now we can look to say, okay, resistance up here at 73 and support at 69 and some change. Got support in there. So what we say, 73 and 69. And let's go see if we see some numbers. Uber might be able to do us right like it did last week. Uber is a plus minus 3. So we go to 67 and go up to 73. 67 is a 79 and 73 is 75. Yeah. Okay, let's go. 67 paying $19 for today and tomorrow. And if we go up 3 to 73, paying $18, so $37, $38. Was it Uber that we did that with last week, or was it UPS? It had to be Uber because I talked about the trade. I did the trade recap. I did the trade recap on Uber. Anything else? I needed to put in Pierre says AV Gold hanging out at 1805. I didn't know I wasn't on the screen. Jamie said it's a 5 spread. Certain prices 2.5. Okay. We looked at Uber. Let's go look at Lyft. Uber. Yeah, Uber might offer. Y'all put that on your list for the day. It's on mine. Y'all saw me write it down. Y'all see me do this right here. It's because we putting it down. All right. So Lyft. LYFT. All righty. Looks like Lyft has been on a bit of a downward ride. Y'all see this? Looks like Lyft has been on a bit of a downward ride. Let's go see if we can see some support back here. I do see the pivot point here at 1330 is on the, using the pivots indicator. Yeah, there was a big old gap back here that it needed to fill from the close to the open, and then all the price action. All of that is still the gap. So the gap is from 1240 all the way up to 1370, and it is currently at 1378. So it's still coming into this gap. There is good support down here, though. You can see it hung around in this zone back here for a while, the bottom of the gap. And throughout this gap is also going to provide supports and resistances along the way too. Okay. Keep that in mind. Let's make it bigger so we can all see clearly. So if we're going for today and tomorrow, you're just doing for today and tomorrow, this here is resistance as well. This would have been a chair. A chair is still a chair. Okay, so 1409. So let's see what it looks like when we go get it on to the onesies. Was I looking at the wrong date for Uber when I was talking about those big nice premiums? I wonder if I was on the wrong date. Because it's over here looking different. Okay, so plus minus 0.4. So that puts us at like 13 or 13.5, depending on your comfort level. And 14, that means you got to be right on it. And that's going to be a little close. So 13.5, 14.5. 13.5 is paying $7. 14.5 paying $2. I don't know if I like Lyft. Let's go back to Uber real quick to make sure I was on the right date for Uber. Don't want nobody getting excited about $30 and it's on the wrong date. We don't want that. Plus minus 1.6 puts us at 69 and going up 72. 69 and 72. I feel like I was in the right place, but I want to make sure. 69 is paying. Yeah, I wasn't. This is $8. 69 and 72. 73 is paying 13. So you could pull in $21 total for an iron condor, or you could go out for the week. If we went out for the week, we were in the 30s, right? So you may want to go out another week, pull in more premiums. That way you can close them off at a reasonable place after you take in good money. All righty, so the E2T membership, wide open. Come on in, join us all the time. The E2T membership, the folks are going to hang out with us this evening when we do our training, starting to do the training of the Chart Your Way to 100K training. That's going to start this evening at 7 o'clock. Well, not really training, because it's really you have the videos. We're really doing the coaching piece. Training is different. Training, I feel like training is where I'm doing the teaching the entire time. Like I'm training you, something that you may be learning for the first time. Coaching is where you've already gotten what it is you were going to get, and I'm just coaching you through how to use it. That's to me is two different things. And tonight it's coaching, not training. I'm not teaching anything new. If you did the Start With the Chart, if you signed up for Start With the Chart, Chart Your Way to 100K. They kind of work together, really. Chart Your Way to 100K. Then you already have all the training that you need. All I'm doing tonight and for the next 3 weeks is to coach along what we're learning inside of there. All right. That's how that goes. E2T membership. We have the morning calls. We're here. I can change this to 8:30 because we're on at 8:30 in the mornings now. And weekly training calls. We do that on Thursday, which is tonight. And we have monthly coaching calls the first Saturday of the month. But we also have Telegram group where I'm there. I hang out. We talk. We make sure that we got trade ideas. We get help if people need all the things together. It's the whole community that goes along with having a trading community, because community is important, especially as a trader, because there's so much. Oh my goodness, trading is such a lonely road, and it carries with it so many emotions. Trading carries so many emotions because anytime you're dealing with your money, your views on money, your psychology of money. Do you have an abundance mindset? Do you have a scarcity mindset? And people could say they got an abundance mindset till you take $100 from them. Then they're telling you they not, people ready to fight and do all that over their $100. That means there's not. That means there's probably not an abundance mindset. It's maybe scarce, right? So these are the things that trading really attacks these areas, these emotions. And then after you trade, whether the trade goes really well or really bad, a whole bunch of chemicals are released into your body. And that adrenaline has to be managed. And so that it puts the nervous system on edge. And if you do this time and time and time, it can just add up and be a whole lot. So there's ways we use community to help us manage these things. Somebody we can talk to that's in the same space we're in and understands our struggles, and they can quote unquote commiserate or celebrate, because you can commiserate together and you can celebrate together. It all kind of goes. Okay. So for the next couple of weeks, we're still going to be here at 8:30 every morning, but for the next several weeks, I'm going to be back in the classroom for a good bit of the day, but we're still going to be here in the mornings. I'm actually going to lean in more to Peakbot. I'm going to let Peakbot carry the portfolio a little bit more over the next several weeks, just because I won't have time to be watching my trades, but I'm still learning some stuff that I want to keep learning. So honestly, it's probably good that I've got to take this, I've got to shift a little bit in my daily schedule so that I can focus on those things truly in my paper account, because sometimes when you can do it live, you do, and you might not should. And maybe you shouldn't do it live, even though you can. All right. All righty, everybody. So we're starting to wrap ourselves up. I hope all hearts and minds are clear. We're going to our daily declaration. I declare I'm a great trader. I declare I'm a successful trader. I declare I'm a focused trader. I declare my wins exceed my losses. My accounts grow more and more each week. I am a wise and knowledgeable trader. I always make smart and lucrative decisions for my portfolios. I declare I'm a level-headed trader who does not trade my emotions, right? Lord, it's you who gives us the power to get wealth. You teach our hands to war with the purpose of establishing your kingdom. Help us today to trade wisely and strategically in order to fulfill this purpose. Give us more than enough so we can have what we need and enough to be a blessing to others. We must be a blessing to others. In Jesus' name, amen. If all you're doing is doing all of this and only person that's the recipient of all of this is you, then you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong, because this money has to flow. It's currency. It's current. It needs to flow. This money has to flow. Jamie says, please click like. Please click like. When I run the videos too, when I run the ads and stuff, let them, if you can, let the ads play through. Let the ads play through. All right. Yeah, I think that's everything. I want us to do at least 3 things today. I want you to, number 1, stay green. Okay, stay green. Don't let a green trade go red. Selling is a little more difficult because it'll be red and feel red, but it'll still be doing fine. So make sure that your strikes are in a good place for if you're selling. Number 2, we want to get this money. Go ahead. If your trades are ready to close them. Don't let the greed man get you. Okay. And the 3rd thing I want you to do is have a great green day. All right. I see you, everybody. I see you in the market. All right. We're going to stay green and get